This is the debug activity application, or debug application activity in Python. I have the project open along with the README file. Our goal is to debug this application and figure out how something works and why it's broken. We are using PIPenv so that we can see the pip file, so we need to install the dependencies. So let's go ahead and run that really fast. PIPenv. I'll do a shell first. It's always a good idea to run shell first, and then we will install. And I'll do --dev to make sure we install all the dependencies. There we go. Now that we have that up and running, we can run our test. So let me go into the actual test file, just one of the PY files, it doesn't matter. And we're going to select our environment. So on the bottom right, I'll click 3.13.5 and we'll go down to the patient estimator for PIPenv. If you don't see this in the list, you may need to reinstall after running PIPenv install. So just shut down VS Code, reopen it, click on the bottom right again, and you should see your patient estimator for PIPenv. Now that that's up and running, I should be able to go to my testing window and run the test, and that works perfect. So now that this is failing, let's run it a few times, and we'll notice that occasionally it passes. So this is the problem. We need to figure out why is it sometimes passing and why is it most of the time failing. That's the goal of this exercise. Now, I'm not going to take you through the entire rest of the exercise. I just want to get you started so you can explore. This activity really is about giving you the opportunity to explore the debugging tools and understand how they work, which really only happens by using them. So you need to use these tools, play with them, give yourself some time. I would say at least 20 or 30 minutes to really explore these tools and see what's happening, see if you can make sense of how things work. To move on to this next point, we're going to need to set breakpoints. So we'll start off, let me go to the test file. And we're going to set some breakpoints on lines 15, 24, and 26. So 15, the little red icon here, I'm going to click on that to set a breakpoint. So 15, 24, 26, 30, 33, and 34. Now these are just suggestions. You're welcome to move the breakpoints around by clicking a different line. It's totally up to you. I just gave you some suggestions to get you started so we can kind of see what's happening here. You can do the same thing in main.py, set up some breakpoints. I won't do that here, but definitely go and add those as well so that you have some places where the code is going to pause. Now that we have that, if I run play, it's not going to hit my breakpoints. Nothing happens differently. The play icon is just execute the test. To debug, I need to hit the button next to it. It's got the little bug next to it. That's the play with debugging. So I'm going to debug the test, and now when it runs, it's going to pause at my breakpoints. This allows me to interrogate things as they're running. So right now, patience doesn't match anything, but if I step over this, now I can hover over patience and I'll see that there are 5 records in there, 0 through 4. In addition, we've got a difference between step over and step into. And so step over, if I step over this line, it's simply going to execute that line of code and then move to the next line of code, and now I can see what patient sorter is. Let me restart and show what step into does now. So same line, I'm going to step into this line instead. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go into the constructor for this and execute that method. Once it's done, it then comes back out and then executes the line. So step over stays in the current method and simply executes it, moving to the following line. Step into navigates into the method where we are to see what's happening there. So those are the two differences from there. Stop will obviously stop the debugging. Play, the continue button, will simply execute until it gets to the next breakpoint. So if I hit play here, it'll then pause again on line 26. If I hit play here, it's now going to pause on line 30. Sure enough, so that's the play button. So play with these tools, see if you can understand them. The play is really the best way to learn. See if you can figure out what's happening. I will give you a hint. The problem is going to be in the app file. It's going to be in the patient sorter class, but you're going to need to see the interplay between the test file and the app sorter class or the patient sorter class to understand where the problem is. Good luck.